Thanks for joining us this morning. Going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on what's going to happen today. This is Spartan speaking, by the way. After I'm done, Beth's going to come on. She's going to give you a breakdown of the macro environment, basically any news events that happen over the course of the evening, go through any ETFs or bigger picture items that make sense to look at in the short term. After that's done, I'm going to come on, give you a breakdown of the individual names that I'm looking at for today. We'll talk about the news associated with those gap up, gap downs. We'll go through the technicals on those charts, as well as go through the SPY, the FANG, and the VXX. After that's done, South Beach will come on, go through any analyst calls he's looking at for today, individual names as well on his part, as well as some more of the macro stuff. And then we'll do a quick little recap before the open. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, pass over to Beth, and I'll talk to you guys shortly. Beth, it's all yours.
Thank you, my friend. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our new members, as well as those joining us Wednesday here out of live YouTube stream. Lots to talk about, obviously. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about right now is the API crude stock number from yesterday. It was a draw, so we're starting to see a shortage, okay, in the stocks, in the stock pile, all right, on the oil side. Notable, okay? On the other side of the coin, China, the inflation rates, stuff like that, we continue to be mired in a deflationary cycle. So as long as this continues to happen, guys, liquidity, right? This is real. Once again, it's a function of the pandemic, right? Until that changes, globally, you will see central banks constantly being erring on the side of caution to try and get these inflation numbers up. Okay, the PPI was okay, all right, and then you see here on the German side, their inflation numbers were okay on the plus side, so that's a big deal. Right? For us, we got our own numbers coming out, 8:30. Let's see how that plays out. Looking for 1.4%, 1.6%. We'll see. And then we have the EIA. It should be a draw, but you never know. There's not. It is what it is. And we go beyond it, right? And then we basically have Powell is speaking at 2:00 this afternoon. Right? Budget, okay. Couple things that came out. This is all in the. This is bullish, obviously, in terms of the global recovery. There's a shipping bottleneck, right? That's a big deal. So we're starting to see things taking hold on the recovery side, on the global economics. This is positive, and we see how it plays out. So there's opportunity, obviously, in some of these shipping sectors. And I know that I'm in rig. We'll just see how it plays out. But this is a positive. Now, I don't know if you guys were watching CNBC, but Frank Luntz, he's the pollster, right? He basically was interviewing people. And it was really fascinating to see that 64% of those he was interviewing think the stock market is rigged. 64%. So this is the narrative on the retail side, that this is here to stay. As a result of that, we're already seeing it in terms of what Spartan is seeing on the low floats. That would be on the retail side, what people would be going after if you're looking at day traders, new to the market, et cetera. So we'll see how that plays out. The other side of that was the lack of understanding what hedge funds do. Okay. Fascinating, and we'll see how it plays out. No idea. Another thing I want you to keep attention on, Africa. If I see anything starting to sweep on this, I will grab it. Okay, so this is the miners and the winemakers, mainly because China and Australia are in a pissing contest. I apologize for those Australians in the room, and I apologize to the Chinese in the room, but this is factual. They're in a pissing contest, and Africa thinks they can step in. This is part of the Belt and Road Initiative, remember? I've talked about it for a number of years. China has made inroads in South America, as well as Africa, South Africa, in Europe as part of their Belt and Road Initiative. No matter what you say, Xi is a visionary, whether you like him or you don't like him. This is in this Belt and Road initiative started, like, I think 2005, 2006. So this is what he's been doing, right? So, okay, so shutting down Australia, but then you have New Zealand, Africa, et cetera, to pick up the slack, South America, Europe, yada, yada, right? Let's see what's going on here in insider trading. This is NAC. There was the director sold, notable. I want to take a look at the top stocks. We haven't looked at this in a while. And the reason why I want to bring this to your attention, I continue to see healthcare as well as the XBI outperforming right now in terms of the other ETFs. Then you have, this is fascinating. Services is almost outpacing the tech side. Right? We look at this from time to time just to see where money flows out. Now, in the sense of what analysts are looking at, okay, in terms of this would be strong buys, moderate buys, etc. And then you can see here, moderate sell, okay, and then sells, okay, strong sell. Fascinating. Just for shits and giggles, let's take a look here what the stock ratings look like. I like to do this. I only like to look at 70+%. If the do that is not 70+%, it's like, man, who cares, right? Just say. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's talk about momentum and breadth, right? You cannot underestimate the impact that momentum has on what we do. And since Spartan is the momentum king, I like to call him Momo King. This is what the dude does every single day. It doesn't matter up or down. He will find the momentum stocks. This is why King said you do not want to pick tops, because if you do, the market can stay exuberant longer than you can stay solvent. This is fact. This is decades worth of facts, okay? So where do we go from here? So this is the number of stocks, percentage greater than a 200-day moving average. Fantastic, right? What does it mean? All right, so let's take a look at this. If you go back to 1933, when the S&P is greater than 80% of the members above the 200-day average for 3 months, okay? What does it mean? Bullish. 85% statistical probability that in the next 2 months, the market will be up 3.5%, the SPY. 85% going out 6 months, 85% going out. This is the power of this melt-up phase that we're in. If you could be right 85% of the time, going back to 1933, okay, even 77% of the time, you would be in heaven. This is how I use the statistics, okay, to give me ideas moving forward. I don't care about, where we are right now. I care about that 3, 6, 1 month. That's what I do. Right? This tells me we still have strong momentum going forward. Okay. Within 3%, when S&P is within 3% of its high and 80%, yada, 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 92% 6 months out. Statistical probability that the market will be up 10%. Fantastic, right? This is why I continue to pound the table. The market's going higher. We will get pullbacks, but from what I'm thinking right now, I think it's going to be individual tickers that are going to be pulled back, yanked 10, 15, 20%. I don't know if the stock indices as a whole have the capacity to do that. It would take a macro event of epic proportion for that to happen. All right, let's take a look at our heat map. All right, so yesterday, a lot of things came back into a lovely color, which is what we want to see. MJ, warning, all right? It can stay up here for a few days, maybe a week, but we are extended on all matrices, and I'm sure Spartan will go over that as well. Right? The pot names are just fantastically extended. Right? Bitcoin, we're already seeing the pullback. This is what we want to see, one of those 5-10% pullbacks where everybody say, oh, that's what we want to see. Bitcoin is here to stay, guys. It's not going anywhere. And then you can see here, South Africa, Peru, crazy, right? All right, this is the clean energy. It did have a pullback. It's actually really bullish. I'm playing this on the equity side as well as individual tickers. IWM, I don't care, going higher. You know that the narrative, right, is the tech and the small caps outperform the Dow and the SPY for the next couple months. That's the narrative. That's my story. Sticking to it. Okay. And there you can see here, USO coming in. Like I say, fantastic. And then on the 30-year, look at that poor little 30-year at 3. I think yields are coming down. I think interest rates, the actual securities futures are going up on this. Right? TLT, this is what you would expect, right? We'll see. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at fund flows. SPY yesterday had the most fund flows, outflows, right? SMH, XLB, right? I'm very happy to see NVIDIA. Let's see what the semis do today. If we get some sweeps, we'll follow them on AMD, right? QQQs, right? And then this is actually what we want to see, right? Bonds, TLT, XLV, yada, yada, silver, XLF, etc. All right, so let's talk, this is Wednesday, so we talk about China. I have been articulate in pounding the table for multiple years that this is the place to be in terms of the present and the future. My persistence is starting to pay off robustly. This is the beginning of what I believe will be the future. Just like with EV, we're not going back. China, we're not going back. This is the present and the future for years, decades to come. There, I've said it. Okay. Conviction. China funds. FOMO, guys, because if you look here, look at the fund flows. It came out, right, for the last couple weeks. Right? It started right here, mid-January, and then it peaked right here, end of January. We still do not have fund flows going in yet. Cool. FOMO time. All right, optics. Here it is. It's going to pop up to here really fast, guys. All right, this is what I'm looking for right now. I think it's going to get in the 90s very, very quickly just because of the price action and a lot of the tickers that we follow. Baidu, my goodness gracious. Oh, Bizon, all right? So many. Even Bobalicious. But we're going to go over the narrative. And I've been kind of saying this. Baba is not where you want to be right now in this leg up in the Chinese market. And I'll go over in detail why I'm saying that. All right, let's take quickly what happened yesterday in the fund flows. MJ sweeps. I love it. Okay. LI, I love this one too. We've been doing really well. All I have to say is OGI. Oh my God. I know a lot of you have followed me on this sweep. We've been in this for a couple weeks now. Up 36, 40% overnight. Come on. Take money along the way, right? And the other one that we've been kind of doing, this SNDL, guys, is going to be like Hexo. The only problem I have is that the vast majority are short dated. We had one, okay, 2023 Leap said it was going out to, okay? All right, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. We're going to start going out. We need more strikes, okay? But this is what we're going to do. So as long as these two, I think these two are going to have so much money flowing into them because of the cost, right? Tilray, ACB, they're all getting expensive, right? So this is what I think is going to happen. And this is what we're going to continue to do. We're going to be rolling up and out, but we're going to have a presence in OGI and SNDL for weeks, months to come. Just saying that. And as long as it continues to sweep, we'll continue to add. When it doesn't, we'll be patient and wait, right? Take profits along the way and off we go. Pay yourself. Okay, FNG. Fang, we do this every day. Okay, it is breaking out, guys, of this extension that goes all the way back to March. Notable. I'm looking for another 5% move on this just to equal 74.10. So I'm looking for, so 5.5% more on the upside with the Fang. This is what we want to see. This is the time when we want to see some of these mega cap growth, Fang stocks start to kick in, right? We have to be patient with it because right now, basically, Facebook, Netflix, Google are doing the heavy lifting. Amazon and Apple are kind of on the sidelines. Let's see if we can get that going. All right, China, let's talk about it. Chinese yuan, this is what we want to see. Sideways consolidation for a couple months, then the next leg down, meaning that the yuan is appreciating. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Bullish. This is what has to happen for institutional money feeling confident in investing in China. If you devalue your currency, that's going to piss off a lot of institutional investors, okay? Well, as well as retail. It will piss me off as well. So sideways consolidate, even if it stays here for months to come, bullish, right? All right, let's take a look at the, we're going to go over the ETFs. Now, when you're dealing with China, you really have to deal with the top tier here, right? Basically, CQQQ on up, right? So CQQQ, GXC, A-share, FXI, KWEB. I'm an MCHI. I'm an FXI, correct? I'm not in CQQQ yet, okay? Just be aware. And I did find a Baidu trade for us to get into it on the ETF side, okay? All right, let's take a look. A-shares. This is what the MSCI uses in terms of their weighting with their exposure to China. I believe that they're going to be coming out very soon and increasing the weighting. You know, it's an emerging market still. Seriously, come on, guys. Fantastic multi-month. Look at this glorious W. For those of you who know me, you know I love my W's. Hate my V's, but give me my W's. Love them. All right, so we are starting to break out. This is notable. We took out last month's high. We have room up to basically up to here. It broke the 78.6, but in all reality, guys, we're going up to here, all-time highs. I probably will pick up some A-shares as a delta trade today, just because of the way in which it's moving. All right, okay, next, CQQQ. So this is the equivalent of our QQQ in China. All right. It also, A2 broke out last month's all-time high, moving higher. It has, as you can see here, this has been leading. So if you look at A-shares, it hasn't even taken out all-time highs, going all the way back to 2015. But you can see here, CQQQ has, when you get these monthly breakout, guys, minimum, I'm looking for 300%. Across the board, that's what I look for. So when I'm looking for my delta long-term trades, I'm looking at the 300% price target, okay? And that gets me basically to 130 on the CQQQ. Now, let's take a look here. Fantastic, right? When the Chinese yuan started to revalue, go up in price, okay, you can see here that the QQQ started to lose ground against the CQQQ. I am telling you, this is just the beginning. We have so much more to go on this for multiple years. This is conviction. I'm pounding the table. This is where you want to be with some of your, I'm not saying you load up the boat, but you should be looking at least 5 to 10% of your portfolio in China. Okay. Chicks. You know, I like that. This is the consumer discretionary. Just breaking out. This is the weekly of this 2 weeks ago. Bullish. Right? MCHI, you know, I'm in this. I got into this on the breakout right here. Okay. This pivot. Right now, we got a little bit of a double top. We should be able to push through that. And then we start to look higher. Once again, I'm looking for 300% on this trade. So up to 132. Now with these ETF guys, A-shares you can do options with, FXI you can do options with, these others you cannot. It just doesn't work, okay? FXI, you know, I've been pounding the table on it, waiting patiently. We're already in some delta trades that are already paying us robustly on it, okay? I'm waiting for this breakout of this W midpoint here, which comes at 54, okay? Then I'm looking to add on. I haven't taken any profits yet on these trades. This is a conviction trade. This is like MJ. This is how you make a lot of money, okay, on these types of trades, okay? So this is conviction. Just keep adding to it. All right, BABA FXI, as you can see here. BABA is trying to break out on the upside. So the FXI is a large cap Chinese names, okay? So BABA says, I'm trying. So I don't think it does actually, though. I think it's not that BABA isn't going to go up. It's just not going to go up in the same velocity. Okay. Chick. This is a communication. It's about to break out. Another one, I love this. I'm looking for basically probably 45 on this. So when I'm talking about this with these monthly guys, I'm looking at years out. Okay. So this is 2022. Right? These are long-term trades for me. All right, let's take a look at Tencent. I love this Tencent double top right now on the monthly. It should break out. Looking for this 123 twins. Okay. Okay. BABA against Tencent, no more needs to be said. Look at how Tencent is kicking ass against BABA. I don't think this changes. I think money's going to continue to flow, okay, outside of BABA. And don't forget, when we first started talking about this, BABA, 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 we're now seeing the money flowing out and it's going down into to the mid caps, small caps, okay? We're seeing a rotation out of BABA, okay? And that's wildly bullish for the Chinese market. Baidu, conviction. All right, so I have to start looking at longer dated stuff. I've been only going 3 months out, but okay. I'm telling you right now, Baidu, come back to me in a few years, right? Baidu, I think, is going to 1,600. Come back to me in a few years, right? We have at least minimally in this rally, November 2021 to be 20 months long. So this is why I do these time and price symmetry guys, because the market as a whole, you don't realize it, but it actually is symmetrical. And this is what Killen Borden does with her price and time cycles. This is what it's all about, all right? So we're looking for minimally a 20-month movement off of the low, okay? So that gets us to November 2021. But when you get these powerful type moves, you should be getting longer stuff like 25 to 31. All right, if you put it out to 31, okay, that gets us to October 2022. I just think it's going higher. Eventually, this could be 5 to 10 years out. I don't care. Minimally, okay, I'm looking for it to get to 455 by the end of this cycle. Okay, and crazy. This is how I get my ideas, guys. They tend to work. BABA Baidu kicking ass. Baidu against BABA. Okay, it broke down 78.6%. Should get down to here. All right, so as a result of that, let's see where we are right here. On this leg down, we got another 25% appreciation of Baidu against BABA. Right? Then we get into this quadrant, and then we're talking the next quadrant down. And when that happens, okay, we have lots of fun. All right, my time is up. Welcome once again. Are you ready, sir, for me to pass it on to you?
We need 30 seconds here, Beth.
Problem. Okay, quickly. XPEV, consolidative. All right, NEO, consolidative. PDD, consolidative. BABA, PDD, you can see it's still going down. Bizon, I love this one, guys. This has been a catch-up trade for us. I love this one. I'm going to add on to that. JD, nothing really here yet until it takes out last month's high. BABA, JD, well, as you can see, everything is appreciating against BABA, and that's a good thing, right? BABA in and of itself, double top on the monthly, we need to break this level right here, 271.30. We do that, then we have a little bit of an extension here, 275, 64, and then we're talking back to all-time highs. Okay, see, I didn't think I could get it done, but anyways, VIX, quickly, I think it's consolidative sideways. I don't think anything here. I think we got a little bit of a bottom here. I think we are probably going to see this start to head up again, probably to 25. That's not a bad thing either. That's just protection being put on. That's a good thing when you get extended like this, guys. All right? That's what we want to see. And to be honest with you, I would like to see a little bit more of a pullback in the indices in and of themselves, maybe for the next week or so. We do have cycles coming in next week. Price and time cycles, okay? So you should be aware of that. All right, so end of this week into next week. So I'm kind of thinking we got a little sloppy choppy, maybe a little bit down. It doesn't matter because there's so many tickers, individual tickers on the momentum side that just continue to break out. That's Spartan finds first that I'm seeing as well. Obviously, you can see all these tickers on the Chinese side, right? So, and I know that Spartan's looking at the mid to small caps on the Chinese names, like a Billy, stuff like that. And whenever he shouts those out, I follow it, right? So that's where we are with that. Quickly, let's see if I got the time before he pops in. I want to look at the 10-year. I've been talking about this. I think we have double bottom in place here. We'll see how this plays out. I think for all intents and purposes, guys, we're going to be range bound right now. On the upside, 154.10. On the downside here, I think it's going to be this week's low. Okay, and that I think we're range bound, and that's okay too. And like I say, I don't have any problem with that in terms of some of these. Quickly, let's take a look at crude because of what's going on in terms of the squeeze. It's finally worked its way through all these EMA guys. Bullish. We're in XLE. And to be honest with you, I'm fine with that trade. There's individual tickers that I've looked at. It hurts my brain. I've got so many other things that I'm looking at on the pot side, et cetera, on China. I'm okay to be in XLE as a short. I mean, it's a small position.
All right, Beth, I'm ready to come on.
All right, guys, let's have fun.
Alrighty, guys, morning. What's going on? Let me just pop up the screen share here. If you guys are new to chat, I'm going to be posting the Discord link for you once we close down the YouTube stream in a little bit. So you just have to be patient waiting for that. Otherwise, let's kind of just dive in to what we're going to be doing today. So pre-market tickers on watch, a couple different things that we're looking at right now. Baidu, Lyft, Twitter, Tilray, OLB, and BPTH. So Baidu shares up this morning on company reported in talks to raise money for standalone chip. Lyft earnings beat EPS and revs year-over-year growth negative 44%, which obviously is expected. Stock's gapping up on that. Twitter earnings beat EPS and revs year-over-year growth 28%. Q1 guidance in line positive. Stock's gapping up on that. OLB announced basically plan to offer cryptocurrency payment options via blockchain technology. Stock gapped up on that, and then that BPTH received a third patent for its manufacturer of platform technology. Stock is gapping up on that. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. So first two names that we're going to be looking at today, guys, Baidu and Lyft, which Baidu just continues to kick ass. All right, one sec. Just going to do this. There we go. So Baidu and Lyft. Baidu gapping up obviously from last day's high. Does this throw us at all-time highs? It might. Yes, it does. Beautiful. Okay. Might be a little tight. We'll see. $223, we'll get rid of that one. Okay. Let's go intraday here. All right, pivot to the upside today, going to be 313.33. Levels able to hold. It got room towards 325.92 to the 331.64 level. Unable to hold, look for a pullback to 304.17 to the 295.28 level on the downside. Overall on Baidu, going to be leading on the bullish neutral side today. Do you think you can get some profit taking come in? And then we'll look for that basing to take the name long. I like it for continuation higher. It just needs to come in a little bit on profit taking and get that basing. So watch that pivot point this morning if it does get reclaimed or not. We'll see what happens there. All right, so that's Baidu. Let's take a look at Lyft. A lot of these names in like the $50 range today, it looks like. All right, so Lyft gapping up. Where are we at? We're at about, what's 59? Okay. All right. So pivot to the upside today, guys, going to be 58.81 on Lyft. This level is able to hold. We got room towards the 62.35 resistance. That level breaks. We got 65.53 going to be tested on the upside. Unable to hold, look for a pullback into the 56.34 to 54.73 on the downside. Overall on Lyft, going to be leaning on the bullish side today. Looking for a hold of the pivot, continuation push to the upside today. Nice little breakout into the gap area on the daily with some room to push. So that's what I'll be looking for. Just continuation higher. That's Baidu. That is Lyft. All right, let's take a look at the next two. Holy smokes. Look at the market, guys. Big push this morning from the pre-market. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at Twitter. Let's take a look at Tilray, which Tilray calls will be up, what, 3,000% plus? So that's cool. And I think those that roll should be up 1,000% as well. Great looking chart. All right, Twitter. Let's take a look here. So stocks gapping up, nice push. Things been on an absolute tear from even before the earnings. $68.70. Yeah, there we go. You can see it there. All right, 64.45, guys. Pivot to the upside today on Twitter. This level is able to hold. We got room for continuation where it's 66.62. That level breaks. You can see 68.70 tested on the upside. Unable to hold. Look for a pullback to 62.77 to 60.95 on the downside. Overall on Twitter, going to be leaning bullish. Looking for a hold of the pivot. Continuation push to the upside today. So good looking there, or a good look there for continuation higher. All right, let's take a look at Tilray. Tilray just absolutely on one overnight. Very impressive move. All right. Pivot to the upside today, 54.17. This level is able to hold. You got room for continuation of 57.53 to 60.98. Unable to hold. You look for a pullback to 51.10 to the 47.70 level on the downside. Overall on Tilray, going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher. Bullish neutral, I should say. Looking for a reclaim of this level and then a continuation grind to the upside. That's Tilray, and that's Twitter. Alrighty. So that is that. Let's take a screenshot of these two. Let's move on to the next, which are OLB and BPTH. Okay, that makes sense. mark them right now. 8, 10. Can't see what the higher level is. It's probably around 1921 though. All right. 1503 pivots to the upside today. This level is able to hold. You got rid towards 1660, then 1920. Unable to hold. Look for a pullback to 1279 to 1050 on the downside on OLB. Overall on OLB, going to be leaning bullish out the gate today. You're going to be looking for a pop, and then topping to kick in to take the name short. So that is that. All right, let's take a look at BPTH here. Alrighty, let's see what we got. All right, what are these labels? Okay. All right, OLB 874 guys pivot to the upside today. This level is able to hold. They got room for continuation into the 1039 to 1182. Unable to hold. Look for a pullback to 740 to 625 on the downside. Overall on BPTH, going to be leaning on the bullish side out the gate today, looking for a continuation pop. And then I do think we will see some top and kick in. One thing to note is the volume is very high in the pre-market, so I think you'll probably see a sustainable push for a little bit intraday before we get that any sort of topping occur. Don't short it unless it's clear topping, guys. Things got some momentum to it right now already in the pre-market. Alrighty, so that is that. Let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. So just save that. Perfect. All right. SPY and FANG. Let's look. So market obviously gapping up. Solid strength already this morning. $392.01 pivot to the upside today. This level is able to hold room towards 392.81 to 393.74. Unable to hold on the SPY. Look for a pullback to 391.06 to 390.14 on the downside. Overall on the market, going to be leaning on the bullish side today. I would like to see a little bit of profit taking this morning because the market is definitely, extended once again to the upside. So we could see a more sustainable grind higher, but we'll see what happens. It is looking like we're just in squeeze mode. We'll take a look at the VXX in a second to see what that looks like on that side. But yeah, going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side today, looking for a little bit of a pullback on the open and then a continuation higher. That's what I'm thinking there. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Just been pinned in the same little area the entire week. 136.53 pivot to the upside today. Level holds in towards 138.75. Unable to hold 134.56 will be tested on the downside. Overall on Apple, going to be leaning bullish. Neutral, looking for a continuation grind higher. If we can break above that pivot and hold, that's going to be the key there. It's clear where all the money's going right now, guys. It's, biotech, low float, or not low floats, but smaller cap, mid cap names. I think that's why you're seeing, basically the big caps not doing much, or the mega caps not doing much. Amazon 33.20 pivot to the upside today. Levels able to be reclaimed. Room towards 33.49 to 56. Unable to hold. Look for a pullback to 32.20. Sorry, 32.95 on the downside. Overall on Amazon, going to be leaning bullish. Neutral, looking for a continuation grind higher. All right, let's take a look at Netflix here. Netflix pivot 558.60. This level is able to hold. We got room towards 568 to 573s. Unable to hold. We look for a pullback on Netflix into the 545.17 level on the downside. Overall on Netflix, going to be leaning on the bullish side today, looking for a continuation push higher. Looks like it's holding up fine, and we can get the next leg up. Now let's take a look at Facebook here. So Facebook, guys, pivot to the upside today, 269.84 levels holds. Level holds towards 280.20, unable to hold 263.90 will be tested. Facebook did confirm the breakout on the daily to the upside or the reversal. So I am leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher today and towards that 280 spot on the upside. Let's see if we can get there. It looks quite good on the daily chart. So that's what I'm thinking there. All right, let's take a look at Google. Pivot to the upside today, guys, is going to be 2091.11. Levels able to hold towards 2158.79. Unable to hold, look for a pullback to 2021.97 on the downside. Overall, on Google, going to be leaning bullish. Looking for a continuation push to the upside today on this name as well. Bullish neutral, I would say. More of a grind higher. See if you can get back above the pivot and make the next leg up through all-time highs. It is obviously consolidating. Google always stair steps higher, so we'll see what happens. So that is Google. All right, let's take a look at the next name here. Which is not the next name, but the next thing that we're going to look at, which is the VXX. So VXX, let's see. So 1630, guys, going to still continue to be. I'm surprised it hasn't broken. 1630 is going to be the pivot to the downside today. This level breaks, we're towards $16. If that breaks, then the VXX is off a cliff, basically to 15s. If it is able to hold, look for a push back towards last day's highs, which is going to be the 1667. Actually, let's go this resistance right here. It's more 1663 to the 1689 on the upside. We watched the VIX and we use the VXX for direction with the market. There may be a little bit of a divergence today where they're going to be buying the VIX as the market pushes to the upside. Just, I think, you're going to start to see a little bit of hedging going on, but, we'll see what happens there. So that is the SPY, the FANG, and the VXX, guys. So, and the individual names that we're looking at today. I'm going to go ahead and type up the pre-market action plan, which I'll show you guys after I'm done. While that's happening on, South Beach is going to come on right now, give you a breakdown of the macro environment, any analyst calls he's looking at for today, as well as individual names, and then we'll go from there. South Beach, if you're ready, it's all yours.
Hey guys. Okay. What do we got? Wednesday. Let's look at the bond market. So the 10-year is down at 1.14, down 0.017. And the 3-month or 6-month, whatever, is basically zero. So you have a little bit of a spread. Okay, you saw that CPI number. So to me, the one really thing that could kill this market more than anything else is interest rates going appreciably higher than it is now, right? And so we got a reprieve, right? The CPI, the inflation numbers were non-existent. So when they're non-existent, we got we continue to be in the perfect storm, right? No other way to put your money. You have a few alternatives. You got your stocks, you got Bitcoin, you got gold, you got real estate, and you don't have cash. And that's what the Fed is forcing. Okay, he wants to get that unemployment down. Okay, and he wants people to spend money, and that's what he's forcing you to do. Okay, it's plain and simple. Borrow money, spend money, buy shit. That's what they want. Okay, let's look at commodities this morning. So oil has been really, really flat. It's up, 25 cents, nothing there. Gold is up a little bit. Silver's up a little bit. Gold, I think, is irrelevant. Copper up another 6 cents, and that's a new high. So that's significant. To me, that's a very, you know how I always talk about it. That's the most significant thing. Palladium is also up, good indication, but it's in the trading range, etc. Okay. Currencies, dollars down in North American currencies, Chinese currency, it's up a tinge, but the chart is just horrific. I think what's his name came out today. Drunken Miller said he's short the dollar against the Asian currencies. So he's the smartest guy in the room, and that's what he's doing. Let's see, and the euros kind of doesn't move at all. Crypto world, I think something really interesting is happening in crypto this morning, and that is Bitcoin is down 2.4%. And these little crypto exchanges like Coinmetrics and Bitstamp and Bitfinex and those kind of stocks, those kind of coins are up. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this, I don't know what to call them, the Wall Street bets guys, the Reddit guys, whatever, you know who I'm talking about, the gunslingers, let's call them that. Or you can call them retail. But these guys are buying the smaller ones because they can push it around. And I think that's pretty significant. But I don't think it changes the dynamics of Bitcoin itself, because if you have, the bigger guys, leaders like Tesla, go into Bitcoin, and who was the other one that did it? Square. I think others will follow, and you have a limited market cap, so I'm pretty bullish on that. And I don't know what it's intrinsically worth, but right now I don't care. Let's look at the foreign markets. FTSE and DAX are basically unchanged. Those stock markets really are crap. Let's call it what it is. And China keeps humming, up another 1.5%. Hong Kong's up almost 2%. Nikkei's pretty flat. Okay. So that's what's going on. China, nothing new out of there. We continue not to talk to them very much. I don't think the president has even spoken to him yet since he was in. Virus, every day you turn the page on the calendar, things get a little more bullish. Okay. And that's what's happening here. And the rally will widen, right? It'll take stocks that had been taboo and start buying them. And I wouldn't be surprised in the short term or short to middle term, you get rallies in stocks like some of these cruise lines and the airlines and stuff like that. Stuff that's been taboo is going to be embraced. Okay. The only thing is, I'm not so sure what it comes at the expense of. I mean, for all, the pandemic, for all of the bad things that it did, and we all know what they are, okay? You know them because you face them every day. You don't see friends, you don't go to, all these things that you can't do. Let's just for a minute look at the positives. If you can, do that in a way, and I don't want to insult anybody, okay? It was horrific for people. A lot of people died. I'm not belittling that, but look at what it did to the economy. Okay, it took probably at least 10 years of change and packed it into a year. Okay, and so you have so many winners and losers. Look at Cisco. Okay, old tech, enterprise tech. Who gives a damn? Okay, people can live wherever they want to live. They can work from home. They can do all these things that genie is not going back in the bottle. All right. So I'm not so sure that some of these high PE tech names are going to get smashed. And as far as semiconductors, the fact that there's a semiconductor shortage that you're hearing from all these companies, what could be more bullish for margins than, Econ 101, guys. Right? Supply and demand. The demand is increasing. The supply hasn't. Ergo, prices go up, margins go up, profits go up. What do you need to know? Right? So that group certainly is in the sweet spot. And these high PE tech names, I don't think the genie's going back in the bottle. So, like there's a lot of, like, I think we're in a perfect storm. That's how I see it. All right. And then you have stuff like Wall Street Research. Okay. It doesn't matter what these guys say. And the fact of the matter is, these retail, Reddit, whatever you call them guys, they're buying small stocks. So that's where the action is. Okay. And it's going to stay there until it doesn't, until they lose a lot of money. And I don't see that happening in the short term. Okay. So when you have these guys saying downgrading Akamai, yeah, there's people who read it and there's people who act on it. They're portfolio managers and stuff. I remember the days where you used to, like, a plane would land somewhere with an analyst or something, and you think he's going to upgrade the stock. Who gives a damn what these guys say? All right. And so, I mean, occasionally you'll see something that's maybe thought provoking, but, like Adam Jonas, who I think is the biggest idiot out there, he downgrades LAD to a sell, target 310, unchanged target, the stock's 390. Again, he misses the boat. So what's that now? We got LAD, we got GM, we got Tesla. What else did he screw up? I can go on and on. What else? Downgraded space at UBS. Not a big downgrade. He raises the target from 35 to 52. What kind of downgrade is that? This guy at Barclays doesn't like social media, so he reiterates the sell in Yelp and Twitter. Guess what, fella? You're wrong. Get on the stick. Like, face the music. You're wrong. Change your opinion. Akamai was downgraded because of earnings. And as far as upgrades, what was interesting? This GMDA, I think that's it. Yeah, GMDA. A couple guys like this, those small biotech stock with a huge target over at who was it? Wainwright and Piper. Okay, stock's $10. They think it's going to 27 in one hand and 25 on the other. So both those guys have huge targets. JP Morgan initiated some gold stocks. Newmont, they have an 83 target, stock 60. I could gamble on Newmont, or I could trade these small stocks. Newmont's a 50-50 in my shot, and the small stocks, you got a much better odds to make money. So I don't really care about that stuff. Everybody raised targets in Twitter. You see Lyft had a blowout quarter. Goldman goes to a 74 target in that one and a 78 target in Twitter. Okay, I think that's significant. And they raised their target at ENPH, which is a leading solar name, to 232 to 266, and they had earnings and they beat. So you got to think that things are pretty good in the solar world. So, I think that a lot of them will do well. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, I saw a price though. Yeah, these guys are out to lunch. I don't understand. I'm really on the verge of stopping reading this stuff because there's too many things to trade pre-market, and this takes me too long to do. And if you guys wouldn't care too much, I just assume drop it. There'll be a day maybe that it matters, but right now the guys that are voting stocks and seeing where things are not these guys. They're not Wall Street analysts. It's just not. Okay, let's look at what do you want to look at? Let's look at Syndicate. I'm a little worried about Syndicate because there are just so many Syndicate deals, and that's draws liquidity out of the market. It draws liquidity out of institutions more than it does the guys who are really important right now, which is not the institutions, but there's three IPOs. So two of them, one's Think Equity and one's Aegis. So those probably aren't too good, right? Because if they were good, they would have gone to someone else. And this Viant DSP, it's an advertising company, I think online advertising. What did I write down here? advertising software. This one's pretty hot, and it's a Bank of America deal. They raised the number of shares from 8 to 10 million, and the target range was 19 to 21, and they priced it at 25. So this one's smoking, and you don't see a lot of smoking deals at Bank of America, but this is definitely one of them. And then you had a bevy of secondaries, AUTL, Lightspeed, Staff, Ballard Power, a lot of little XONE, another one. And there's how many more coming? Well, there's the rest of the week, there are a ton of IPOs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 IPOs coming, and it looks like about 15 secondaries. Yeah, 15 secondaries. This KALV is interesting, right? Because that stock rocked yesterday on some news, and now they're going to do a secondary. And I love when they do secondaries and you know where the money's going. So that's going to go to, you know, progress the drug they talked about yesterday. So I think that's pretty good. And so that's that. So I'm a little worried about the syndicate calendar. I'm not worried about inflation. And I think the market is just in fuego. And I think Wall Street research is useless. What one did I like the IPO? I liked the advertising company. What the hell is it? So many of them. Viant, but the symbol is dog Sam Peter, TSP. Okay, so that's that. Looking at some of my positions, let's talk about Teva for a minute. Okay, you know I've been pushing this one for a while. Okay, you know I'm loaded in it, but they had earnings today, so I'll take a brief minute to talk about it. Okay, so Teva had earnings, and I'll show you why I like it so much. Okay, so they had earnings and they were pretty good, and they're looking for 263 next year. Okay, it could be 250, it could be $3, it really doesn't matter. Okay, but they're looking for 250. The stock trades at what, 13 bucks? So it's trading at a PE of 5. Okay, so it's in 2 businesses. It's in the generic drug business, and it's in the specialty drug business. So if you look at the most analogous companies to this one, you have VTRS, which is the old Mylan Labs merging with Pfizer's Upjohn, and they changed the name to VTRS. That has a PE ratio, according to FinViz, of 35. Okay, so we have Teva at 5, and we have this Viatris at 35. And then they're in the specialty chemical drug business. So let's look at a company like AbbVie as an analogous company. Okay, and that trades at a PE of let's see. Doesn't have it. Let's use these things basically traded around a 20 PE, more or less. I'm looking at Abbott Labs. All right. So if you use just a 10 PE on this thing, now why is it trading where it's trading? Because they have to write somebody a check for that lawsuit for opioids. The high end of the expectations is 5 billion. The low end is 2 billion. Okay, so let's say they do 3. All right, how does that affect their earnings? It doesn't, but it takes the monkey off their back. And I'll make the argument that it trades at least a 10 PE. Okay, if it trades at a 10 PE and it makes 250, that's 25 bucks. All right, I think a 10 PE is in the bag. All right, I think a 15 PE is not out of the question, and nor is a 20 PE over time. And there you have it. That's my argument in that name. Okay, that's why I'm so high in it, and that's why I'm freaking loaded in it. What else? Other positions, you know, the small names are what's working, right? So I have a NAK, SMDL. I have all the pot names. I have Cron and all of them. And what else? You know, NAK, GSAT, Sandal, and you could buy the crap out of them because they trade like water. So that's where the action is. That's where the money's being made, not the traditional Wall Street type of stuff where you got to buy like Pfizer. And I mean, watching Pfizer versus some of these small names that we've been trading is like watching paint dry. So you go with the action is, of course, and that's where the action is. And forget about, you know, just focus on what's hot. And that's, as a trader, that's your responsibility, not to focus on, you know, stuff that doesn't move enough. Okay. The trading is amazing. All right. There's a lot of stuff going on. I can't push the button faster than I'm pushing it. And the traditional ways of making money for the moment don't exist. Will they come back? Hopefully not, you know, because this is as good as it gets. All right. So enjoy it while it lasts. And, you know, watch the two things that worry me, which is interest rates, which we got to super pass on today, and secondaries. I mean, the syndicate calendar. All right. And let's see if I wrote anything else that was interesting. I mean, the names I've been giving you guys, Tiger, VFF. VFF, I bought it, what, $4.50? Where is it today? 18? 19? 19 bucks. Okay. Can you comment on ITRM raise? I don't know what the raise part means. You mean the secondary? I don't know what raise means. Okay, the secondary. So they did a secondary because they have when a biotech does a secondary, it's not a bad thing because the biotech, you know what they're doing with the money. You're going to take the money and progress the drug that they have. I think they have something at second quarter or something, or by the summer they have a drug going in front of the FDA, and they're just, you know, using the money to move that along. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. All right, you have two big hedge funds in there. I probably see another event coming in the next 24 hours to get it a little higher. And any target in the, I don't use targets, guys. Never. Okay, as long as the bullish scenario continues to be bullish, I don't have it to, that's why I'm able to hold some of these names as long as you think it's normal to hold VFF from 4 to 19. No. Why? Because everything is pointing that it's going higher. And so don't put, you know, this is not a market. It's not a choppy market where you have to take profits every time something moves a little bit. Okay, so I'm not a big, you know, proponent of targets, okay, in this environment. In some environments, I may be different. So, is there another offering in ITRM? Is that what you guys are trying to tell me? February 10th. What's today? I didn't even know that, guys. They're doing another offering. This secondary market is just out of control. It really is. Okay, if they can raise 17 million at $2, I even like it more, to be honest. If people are gobbling this stuff up, what the hell? All right. There's another offering and the stock isn't even down. Wow. Maybe I'm not big enough. That's what I'm thinking. You know, the stock kind of told you, it was a little weird yesterday, the way it traded. You know what I mean? It opened up strong and got weak during the day like somebody knew. So that's a good point. I didn't see that filing, guys, so thanks for pointing it out. Wow. Okay, so that's it. Listen, I'm out of time. If I have anything to say on it, I'm going to do some due diligence on that filing. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Spartan. Thanks for your time, guys.
All right, thanks, Alt Beach. What's going on, guys? So let's take a look at what we got going on. I did take a little bit of this THMO, same sort of company, same sort of float as BPTH. So I figured take a little bit this morning in the pre-market, see if we can get going. There's been a lot of sympathy plays working lately. So that's the float there. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got going on today, guys. A couple different things.
Hey, Spartan, can I say one thing and I'll be done?
Yep.
This 17 million shares, it looks like it's gone. Institutions bought the whole thing. So if that's the case, guys, that's super bullish. Okay, just FYI. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Health Beach. Anyways, guys, let's take a look at what we got going on today. A couple different things. Gonna quickly just go through the pre-market notes with you. You guys can just pause it and look. If you're on the YouTube stream, there you go. There you go. There you go. Options alert, same thing. Okay, great. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Whoops, there we go. So pre-market tickers on watch: Baidu, Lyft, Twitter, Tilray, OLB, BPTH. Let's take a look at what we got here. Baidu shares plus 17 pre-markets. CNBC reported they're in talks to raise money to start their own standalone chip. Stocks gapping up on that. Lyft earnings beat EPS and revs. Year-over-year growth negative 44%. Stocks gapping up on that. Twitter earnings beat EPS and revs. Year-over-year growth 28%. Q1 guidance in line positive. Tilray gapping up in continuation momentum. OLB Group announces plan to offer cryptocurrency payment options via blockchain technology. Stocks gapping up on that. And then BPTH, Biopath receives third U.S. patent grant related to manufacturing of platform technology. Stocks gapping up on that. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. So first two we're going to be looking at today, guys. Watch that THOM. I do think it will go. Baidu and Lyft. So Baidu, Lyft, first two that we're looking at today, guys. I'm just going to throw this over here. Okay, there we go. All right, so Baidu, pivot 313.33, pivot to the upside today. Level holds towards 320.64 to 325.92. Unable to hold, look for a pullback to 304.17. The 295.28 on the downside. Overall on Baidu, going to be leaning on the bullish side today, looking for basing to kick in to take the stock long. Lyft, pivot 58.81. This level is able to hold, room towards 62.35. That level breaks, 65.53 will be tested. Unable to hold, look for a pullback to 56.34 to 54.73 on the downside. Overall on Lyft, going to be leaning on the bullish side as well, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. Let's take a look at Twitter. Let's take a look at Tilray, which Tilray is absolutely ripping to the upside. Tilray. All right, Twitter first. 64.45 pivot levels able to hold. 66.62 to 68.70 will be tested. Unable to hold, look for a pullback to 62.77 to 60.95 on the downside. Overall on Twitter, going to be leaning on the bullish side today, looking for a continuation push higher. Tilray, pivot to the upside was 54.17. Next resistance for 57.53, 60.98, and now the next level is 65.03 on the upside. If you can break through that level, guys, we got a little bit more room for continuation into the looks like 69.74, then 74.22. So we got some more room. Overall on Tilray leaning bullish, of course. And guys, with the 35s, we'll continue to hold the last bit of those. And we'll take another piece of the 42s off. Sell all but 1/8 on the open. Hold a piece. So that's Twitter. That's Tilray. Let's take a look at OLB. Let's take a look at BPTH. OLB. 1503 pivot levels able to hold near 1660. That level breaks. You got room in 1920s. Unable to hold 1279 to 1050 will be tested on the downside. Overall on OLB, going to be leaning on the bullish side, looking for pop topping, take the stock short. And I think we're getting a little bit of a pullback already. We'll see how it acts on the open. BPTH, I said this morning in the group, but this reminds you exactly like AUVI, guys. Exact same type of volume chart right now so far. Pivot was 874, 1039 resistance, 1182, 1340, 1471, 1784, and then 1881 next targets. Support 746.25, which, you know, it's probably not going to get back down there today. Leaning bullish on that name for now. All right, let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. SPY 392.01. Pivot to the upside today. This level holds. Room for continuation into the 392.81 resistance. Breaks. We see the 393.74 level tested. Pivot unable to hold. Room lower into the 391.06 support. Breaks. We see the 390.14 level tested. Overall leaning bullish. So looking for a continuation on the upside on the market today, guys. I do want to see a little bit of profit taking on the open and then base and kick in to take the stock or take the SPY long. That's what I'm thinking there. All right, that's the SPY. Let's take a look at Apple. Apple pivot to the upside today is going to be that 136.52 level is able to hold towards 138.75, unable to hold 134.56 will be tested, leaning bullish on Apple, bullish neutral. Amazon pivot to the upside today, 33.20 levels able to hold. We got room towards 33.49. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards the 32.95 level, leaning bullish neutral on Amazon as well. Netflix pivot to the upside today is the 558 level. This level is able to hold. We got room towards the 568.38, unable to hold 545.17 will be tested on the downside. Overall on Netflix, going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation higher. Facebook, pivot to the upside today is going to be the 269.84 spot level, holds towards 280.20, unable to hold 263.90 will be tested, leaning bullish on Facebook. Google, pivot to the upside today is going to be the 2091 level, holds towards 2158, unable to hold 2021 will be tested on the downside, leaning bullish neutral on Google as well. That's a SPY, that's a FANG. Those are the individual names we're looking at, guys. Today, last but not least, VXX pivot 1630s. Watch that level for direction on the SPY as well. Alrighty, guys, that's it. Thanks for coming in to watch the pre-market stream that we do every single